Another question for Ron, and that question is, when we are on the ascension journey, will I experience a release of trauma that I had in past lives? And if so, Ron, is it important to let that past go from our 3D dimensional physical self?
Yeah, what I'd like to refer to is the Love One Society mission statement. And I'm saying this for a very effective reason to help you to stay in peace and harmony. We have an accident or something in our lives, and we don't realize perhaps that we created it, but we're really upset about it. Well, if we stop and ponder about things and understand that the heavens can help us if we will just listen. And if we're listening, then we can hear and understand the reason for that particular problem. If we get that, then we can say to ourselves, well, that sounds, there's nothing bad about that. It might have hurt, but there's nothing that I did wrong. And so you can allow yourself to experience something, and then once you've pondered it in your heart and received I'm going to say a revelation that you are loved, totally loved, and there's no way that you can destroy that love for you. It's there all the time. That's just the way it's set up for us. Not set up, it's just the way it is. So trauma has a different element to it. One of the concept of trauma, it all obviously depends on what the trauma was. Your mind is going to go through. If you had an accident in the car, your mind is going to go through that 100 times, trying to figure out what you did wrong and how you can change things. And if you can change things, then you do what you can do. If you don't address traumas in your life and you just leave them, they fester. And it's very difficult to have an upward progression spiritually if you're caught in a trauma. Now, the traumas happened in the past. What do you think the cabal wants you to spend all of your ideas and your thought processes? They want it from the past. And then the traumas that you bring up or have had in the past that now you're recreating it. You're recreating it. Your mind doesn't know the difference between the first time and the second time. They don't have that reasoning power. So you've got to deal with trauma as best you possibly can. But there is a way that you can get through that trauma, through the help of the Spirit, and then you can move on and not have a resentment towards God. A lot of people have resentments about God's doing godly, natural things. Blame it on God if there's a earthquake and thousands of people die. I'll tell you one thing for sure. If you don't understand this, nobody dies unless the heavens say that person's life is finished. Nobody dies without going through that life experience where this is where they were going to pass away. So as mad as you might be about God, he's in charge, knows what's going on between God and your soul. You are doing what you're supposed to do. And that's just something you have to realize. But you've got to go back and fix those problems if you possibly can. Get the Spirit involved in your life with these things. You'll say, well, they don't belong there. I'm too. Get it involved in your upsetness and let the Spirit change how you're feeling, how you're thinking. Take the thoughts of your mind and put them in your heart. That's what we're asked to do. Why don't we do that? The mission statement is there for a reason. There's unspeakable joy and happiness that you can get even under the worst of personal traumas if you'll just take the time and do it. I hope that helps because that's major.
Absolutely, Ron. Very good. And we'll stop on that note and we'll be back here for another question. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.